ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति. So in the last session, in the end, we covered about the three transactions of life. So which is receipt, reaction, and response. So what Vedanta is saying is to improve our quality of life, we have to consider all the three aspects of the transactions. What type of stimuli we are receiving, what type of how the reaction is happening within our personality, the mind and intellect. Is there agitation, is there greed, jealousy, how we are taking at the level of mind, how we are taking at the level of the intellect, the clarity we have, understanding we have, thinking we have, and the how we act on it. So again, it comes down to, is it selfish, self-centered, or is it for genuinely for helping, serving society, or it can be selfless. Selfless is merely performing your obligatory duty without having any axe to grind. So whatever position we are in, we just perform, we just do what we ought to do. So that is at the level of response. So reaction, receipt, reaction, response. These are the three transactions of life. So here, if you see, in the first transaction, your sense organs are constantly perceiving sense objects of the world. Your eyes, this we have done. Different stimuli. The third transaction, this also we did. Okay, so we are here. So wherever you are, this is a very important paragraph. It's worth repeating. Wherever you are, whatever you be, you must perfect the above three transactions in life. Every human being is well equipped to set things right for his spiritual evolution. So, spiritual evolution is about being in control of your personality. And to be in control, you make things conducive for yourself. That's what he means by transactions of life. You know, what sort of satsang we say, what sort of company you're keeping, or how do we conduct yourself, every aspect of life. So, your present nature is best suited for your development, a very, very important point. Wherever we are, whoever we are, our present environment, circumstances, situation is best suited for our spiritual development. Realize that, make good use of your faculties to discover the peace and happiness within you. The ignorant masses, however, are not aware of their inherent power to steer their way to perfection. Instead, they boast over their mundane achievements and their failings. They suffer from either superiority or inferiority complex. You must be careful not to develop either complex. No one is superior, inferior. Everyone has a distinct part to play. So have you recognize your part and play well. Thus would you progress to perfection. And then Samli covers this poem, The Mountain and the Squirrel. So before we get into the poem, what he's actually trying to say, we need to have right understanding of our personality. Who are we? Now, what is our strength? What is our weaknesses? Each aspect of our personality, we have a clarity of ourselves. Now, when we are able to do that, function in that way, we are not dependent on people's opinion. What other people think about us, what are they, how they're reacting. We are not dependent on that. Are they aligned with our thinking? Are they supporting us, not supporting? All these parameters, all these criterias are completely out of picture when you know what you want to do. It's not an ego or arrogance. You genuinely understand why you're doing what you're doing. Your intentions are pure. You have visions, vision is higher, and you understand this has to be done, and you do it. When we don't conduct ourselves in such a way, we tend to get into either a superiority complex. I am great. I have whatever I am doing, nobody else knows, nobody else can achieve it. Or we get into an inferiority complex. So I am nobody. I don't know what to do. People are doing so great. People at my age are greater. They have achieved so much, and I have not done anything. All these are not necessary when we are working on our personality. working on becoming a better version of ourselves. So we're not competing with anybody in the world. We don't have to. We don't have to prove anything to anyone. We don't have to do anything to anyone. We just have to mind our business. So our responsibility is on our personality. Who are we? How do we go about in life? So one of the thing I always keep as a benchmark for myself, what is my first reaction when I'm in a particular situation experience? How do I react? That determines my present state. So if I am agitated, if I react, I have jealousy, I have anger, or whatever it be, if I am reacting in particular way, that is my present state of affair. So automatically, I need to understand it and work on it. There's nothing to be, losing my as a ego as inferiority complex or superiority complex. There's nothing like that. Is this is what my personality is. So instead of that, what people do is they tend to boost over their mundane achievements and bemoan their failings in life. Well, they keep on looking into what they have not achieved in life. And that's where this poem comes in, Mountain and the Squirrel. So it's a very beautiful poem. What happens is, so the mountain and the squirrel had a conflict, had a fight. So mountain is bragging about himself and says that, you know what, you squirrel, you small fellow, who are you without me? You can't even make a squirrel track without my participation. So you are too small. I carry the entire forest in my back, and you are a small, tiny fellow. You are bragging. Well, who do you think what you are doing? So this squirrel is a smart fellow. He turns back and says, "Yes, what you're saying is right. I can't. You carry the forest on your back. You know? But I can't. I make a squirrel track in the mountain." But he says the last four lines. We'll go through it. Talents differ. All are well and wisely put. If I can't carry forest on my back, neither can you crack a nut. Each one has a strength, each one has a weakness. A strength of one may not be the same for others, doesn't matter, but each one has a place. We need to recognize our place and accordingly function. So the poem goes, the mountain and the squirrel. The mountain and the squirrel had a quarrel, and the former called the latter little prick. Bun replied, "You are doubtless very big, but all sorts of things and weather must be taken in together to make up a year and a spear. And I think it no disgrace to occupy my space. If I am not so large as you are not so small as I, and not half so spry. I will not deny you make a pretty squirrel track. Talents differ. All is well and wisely put. If I cannot carry forest on my back, neither can you crack a nut." Ralph Waldo Emerson. A simple, beautiful poem highlighting this aspect of we need not have a superiority complex or inferiority complex in life. We need to know who we are, what we are, our strength, our weaknesses. Each one of us have a place in the spoke of life. None of the spoke in the wheel of life can be important, can be unimportant. You can't say this spoke is made of gold, so it is very important, and the others are made of steel, so it's not important. It's nothing like that. All the spokes are required for the wheel to move smoothly in harmony. Similarly, all of us have a place. Each one of us have an ability, have a capacity, have talent, have strengths, have weaknesses. So we need to do whatever our part is in the society, in the world, wherever we are, and move on. Instead of creating an inferiority or a superiority complex, both are negative. You know why both are negative? Because both are highlighting your individuality. If you think about it, spirituality is about diluting your individuality. All your activities, all that we do is supposed to dissolve our individuality. Instead, when we highlight our individuality, I am big, I am small, the I stands out, and that itself is unspiritual. So, what they're saying is find out what is the right way of functioning. Like we did the last session, the transactions of life. Yes, okay, these are the receipt, reaction, response, function, understand, work, move on. When we get stuck with one aspect, one experiences, how can I be so bad? How can I be so negative? What all I have done, you don't know. I have been very negative person. Or in the other side, I have been very positive person. I have been doing very good for society and others. Doesn't matter. End of the day, progress means moving higher. Moment you are in a particular position and you are stuck at that position, you're not moving. A milestone, imagine it says 10 kilometers from here is a destination, right? You hold on to that 10-kilometer and you are like, okay, I don't know how will I reach, how will I achieve it, will it be even happen, can I go? Keep moving. Spirituality is about keep moving towards your chosen goal, ideal, whatever you think is the best. That attitude in life, that approach in life is what is going to help us to progress in life. And that's what he's highlighting. So the American poet Ralph Waldo Emerson has well brought out the problem of complexes in human beings in this poem, The Mountain and the Squirrel. The poem depicts a mountain carrying forest on his back but cannot crack a nut, whereas a squirrel that can crack a nut cannot carry forest. Therefore, none is superior or inferior in this world. All creatures serve as spoke in the wheel of life. God merely acts as the hub holding everything together. Now, the next topic is nature of the world. We need to understand that how does the world functions. If you see the sequence of thought till now, so here we are in chapter 3. Uh, we did mention about it, and Samji he keeps this thought process as a constant. We always move from known parameter to the unknown aspect of life. So we started with the world where we can understand the world, where we mentioned that okay, they are these are the different types of five elements. We said the plant, we have vegetable kingdom. Remember the last session we did? These are the five types. Then we went into human beings. Even in humans, there are divisions. These are different types of humans. Though people may look like human, but they are not really human. They're animal human. They're vegetable, mineral human. No feelings, completely rude, rough people. They can't be called as humans. They're just chassis, just outside. So you may wonder what's going on in the society, in the world. People are seemingly they are normal, but they are not able to conduct themselves as a normal human being. So what is going wrong is that they have not developed themselves as a human. So there is a progress. So that's what we did in the earlier session. And that was, if you remember, that was the composition of the world and the human species. Then we did the three conditions of the mind. So we are zooming into the personality. So first was the world, then was the human being, then we went in the human. There are three types of the mind. So one is a restless mind, one is a normal mind, and one is a stable mind. So imperfect, restless, imperfect, perfect mind. So when we understand that, okay, the mind also, one thing is that we take things for granted. One of the very important point to note is we find it difficult to be happy. It may sound irony, but somehow we have trained ourselves to believe that I can't be generally happy and peaceful. There has to be some problem connected. I have to think about something to be happy. So, whereas if you remember the spring example, that was a very interesting example. Your natural state of the mind is to be happy, to be peaceful, to be just normal. You don't have to agitate yourself. You don't have to get into stress. And even if you get into any problem, crisis, situation, circumstances, so many things happen in life, try to get to that zero position, which is a state of as much less thought as possible, state of peace, state of contentment. And that is what he meant by saying a perfect mind. A perfect mind is a cone resting on the base. So, yes, problems come. So, but nothing can topple that cone. That's a stable nature of the mind. You've trained yourself to be normal. Yes, there's a crisis. Yes, there's a problem. Yes, there's a very big thing happening. You imagine this has happened with us, is a very common thing. Something very serious happens in the family, death in the family, let's say. And when you go for the whatever rituals and something things have to done, uh, it's expected that you'll be completely broken, completely shattered, completely emotional. If you're not, people will question you. How can you not be disturbed? How can you not be emotional? Something has happened. You didn't expect it. You didn't want it to happen. It has happened. Can something be done? Yes, something has to be done. Do it, move on. That is the stability of the mind he's talking about. And that is possible with your stable intellect, knowledge, understanding. You don't have to break down. You don't have to crack down. In fact, one of the things we discussed, I don't know, in this session we have covered, so I call it FIR. FIR is what happens with spiritual knowledge as we keep moving. The frequency of the affectation, in the sine curve, we have this, in the physics, you did the sine curve, you have this graph. So the frequency of how frequently you get affected, that reduces. How intensely you get affected, that reduces. And how fast you rebound, factor. F is frequency, I is intensity, and R is a rebound factor, FIR. So you automatically get back to normalcy in no time, which comes through your sharp intellect. When you apply yourself, what is intellect? Ability to think, reason, judge, decide, discriminate, which we'll be covering in the other sessions. So when you reason it out, what am I getting affected for? Something happened in the family? Was it, did I have something, can I do something about it? No, it was not in my hand. It just happened. Okay, fine, fair. By getting affected, is it solving the problem? No, it's not. Whatever has happened has happened. In fact, by breaking down, I'm not able to handle the situation as I'm supposed to do. I don't even function normally. So I'm not able to handle the situation normally. So, what's the point? In the society, people don't see it as a normal. This is no, no, you can't be. You have to be affected. You have to be disturbed. You have to be. This is the extreme. Even in regular day to day activity, why can't we be cheerful and happy? Normal. Why do we have to always create a situation and circumstances? One of the thing training, Swamiji always tells us, you have to catch a flight. If you have to catch a flight, you have to reach 2 hours before. Domestic flight is 1.5 hours. We keep 2 hours. And if you're traveling a distance more than an hour, keep 1.5 extra. So you have buffer time, you have extra time. Why do you want to stress out? Why do you create situation which will create agitation? Why can't we plan our day, plan our activity so that there is no scope for the mind to be agitated? Somehow we enjoy agitation, somehow we enjoy being stressed out. That's what he meant by is perfect mind. Anything happens, but nothing happens to personality. World will be what it is, but internally we are able to be in control of our personality. That is the true human. when you are in control of your personality. The world doesn't disturb you, shatter you, cannot touch you. So that was three conditions of the mind. Then we did the composition of life, where we generally spoke about how the life is made up of. And then, if you remember, this transactions of life came in. And thereafter, we discussed about the nature of the world. And this was the three transactions, receipt, reaction, response, which we did last time. And thereafter, we did this mountain and the squirrel, where we don't understand. It has to be, in fact, one of the I'm repeating again, this line is so useful and relevant. Your present nature is best suited for your development. Whoever you are, wherever you are, your present nature, your present situation, circumstances is best suited for your spiritual growth. So we have to stop blaming people around us, situations for our growth. In other words, focus on the effort. What am I doing? How am I doing it? That is important rather than complaining about things which is not in your hand. So, and thereafter we said that, okay, you have to improve the quality of the receipt, reaction, response, which is the stimuli you're taking, make it conducive. As satsang, we call satsang means good company. It need not be people, it can be text, it can be websites, it can be, what you're watching. Netflix, what type of documentaries or what type of movies are we watching? So everything put together, it's a receipt. Stimuli is coming in. And then the reaction internally. You may be having a positive stimuli, but internally there's a lot happening. There's so much. Swami keeps telling, keep it simple. Simplify. How do you conduct yourself? How do you keep your desk? How do you keep your room? How do you keep your closet? That defines your personality. That defines how cluttered things are inside or how clean things are inside. So better it is, that's how we need to conduct ourselves. So that is the reaction internally, which is the mind and the intellect. Whatever it is, come to a point of, even in a case of you have to decide something in terms of intellect, we need to have an understanding of, okay, this is what we want to decide on. There has to be pros, there has to be cons. Remember, if there's only pros, which means there's something wrong, you're going by the mind. If it is only cons, that also can't be wrong. Every activity, when you're making a choice, there has to be pros and cons. And based on your reasoning, you weigh and you decide, okay, this is what I believe something has to be done. So we're talking about reaction inside the personality. And the last is response. How do you respond back to the world? Be as unselfish as possible. The thought should be, how can I help? Serve, add value to others. These are not big terms, it's very simple. When the flight lands, just relax. The lady, air hostess, keeps on saying, please sit down, don't open your bed. And the first thing is, we get up. Just relax. Where will the flight go? It has landed. Even if you run out, break the window and go out, your luggage is not going to come. You have to wait for the luggage. Why are you rushing? What are you rushing for? That attitude of after you, après vous. That is what we're talking about. That is the attitude of service and sacrifice at the level of action. So receipt, reaction, response. How do you respond to the world? Impulsively, highly agitated, highly impulsive, versus be balanced, be mature. Okay, something has to be done, something has happened. Think of it, what can be done, do it, move on. That attitude or that approach in life we are talking about. So that is the way we should conduct ourselves. And then he mentioned that we tend to get into a nature of either we get into superiority complex or inferiority complex. Unnecessary, we bring in the ego in the equation. I am doing it or I cannot do it. How does it matter? When there is action has to be done, focus has to be what has to be done. Work has to be done, full stop. Doesn't matter who does it. If, let's say a glass is kept on your in the lounge, you ask, Why is it here? The question is, why is the tumbler or the glass kept there? Answer is, I did not keep it. How does it matter? Is it relevant? Is it necessary? Somebody kept it, move it. Simple as that. That attitude in life, sometimes we have to bring in ego in the picture. Spirituality is about cutting off that ego, that individuality. Focus on work, focus on action, focus on what has to be done, focus on personality, strength, weakness. Then we don't get into this superiority or inferiority complex. And that's where this beautiful poem comes in. Talents differ, all are well and wisely put. If I can't carry forest on my back, neither can you crack a nut. All of us have a place. All of us, everyone's role is important. Everyone's role is not important. Fact of the matter is, world can survive by itself. World doesn't need us for it to function. Nature knows how to function. We are not doing any favor to anybody in doing anything. You can always retire. It is our obligation, it is our responsibility, having taken so much from the world, from society, from nature, every moment of our life, we are ought to give back. It's not a favor, it's an attitude of sharing, caring, thinking for others. So they don't need, nobody needs it. But being born here, being receiving all that benevolence we are receiving every moment. Did we pay the oxygen bill? No. Day one, we are breathing, right? Somebody's taking care of us. Need not name it, doesn't matter who we be. But the fact remains, we are the benefactors. The receiving end. So recognize it and do whatever can be done. That is devotion. That's bhakti. It's not asking. Prayer is not begging. In fact, in the next chapter, he brings about an emotion. It's about recognizing what all we are being benefited every moment of our life, being grateful of that, and give back whatever can be done. Do it, move on. That attitude. So then we don't personalize the thought. It stays to the thought level and goes to action level. Then he's talking about the nature of the world. If you see the nature, fundamentally the nature of the world, it is the world is in a flux of a change. The only thing constant in the world is change. Change is the only constant. Every moment of our life is things are changing, right? So it is important for us to adapt with changes. Only then we will be able to sustain ourselves. Otherwise, we will not be able to gel with the world. This lot of problems happen with next generation. We say the generation is so different. We are not able to adapt to it. There's a distance between the generations. What is that gap? The generation gap is created by us. There's nothing wrong with the youngsters. They're smart. They're sharp. We are not able to keep up to their pace, and we call it a gap. That's about it. So we need to, there's pros and cons in both, every side. Every generation has a positive, has a negative. We need to take the positives and move on. Learn from positives. They are so smart. This generation, they are able to handle AI. They are able to be so smart in handling things. We may not be able to even understand what's going on. They're able to adapt to it. They're able to function, help out people. So much is happening. So there's nothing wrong with the generation. So when we are not able to adapt to changes, we want things always to be in a particular way, then there's a problem. When, in Darwin's theory, Darwin's law says the evolution is a species which adapts to changes, sustains. More you adapt, more you are able to sustain. If a species cannot adapt to the change, it extinguishes, it goes away, uh, it's gone from the world. So, as a species, as a person, in the macrocosmic level, at the microcosmic level, adaptability is something which is important. So, change, how do you adapt? When you accept change as it comes. What do you mean by that? How do you accept change? Very interesting. When we grow up, there will be gray hair, white hair. Understanding that as a part of life, that is accepting change gracefully. So many things people do. Hair will go. It's a part of life, right? It will come or it will go on going smaller, and then it will be something completely, you have to delete it. So accepting it gracefully is what they're talking about. Nature of the world is change. We need to adapt to change in a way that we are not affected by it. Most people get affected by change. So the law is change is constant. Even the physical body at the gross level, at the cellular level, it changes every 6 months. The complete new physical body you have every 6 months. And at the root level, it is faster or whatever. The blood vessels are changing, the blood is changing, everything is changing. Now, if you hold on to one, you're stuck to one, you don't move, you don't grow. So, nature of the world is change. We need to change with time, and only then we are able to understand and be happy with whatever happens around us. So, there's a change or perish seems to be the law of nature. The world is sometimes cruel, only to be kind. Realize that. Do not abuse the plan of nature. Do not fall a prey or to cynicism or pessimism in life. Instead, look at the world constructively. Does not a sportsman improve the game with strong opposition? There was a fight, conflict between two marbles. Marble stones. They're big stones, marble they use for the construction. So there was a conflict going on between two marbles. One guy is telling the other that I have always been looked down. People have never considered me. People have never taken care of me. And I don't know why they always favor you. They always take care of you. They always grateful to you. But they don't even, they just walk on me. They don't even care for me. The other marble turns back and tells to this guy, this marble, you know what? When that artist was using his hammer, chisel on you, you made noise. I don't want it. It's painful. I don't know why it is. I don't know why God is doing this to me. I don't know. I can't take it. Everything has to be good to me. When that same artist was carving me, I didn't make any noise. I accepted things as being gracefully. It is being given by God, must have a reason. I don't understand it, but I taken it gracefully. And that's the reason I am the deity made of marble. People are worshipping me all the time, taking care of me. And that's the reason you're on the floor, just lying there. Nobody cares for you. Friends, in life, that's how it works. We complain about problems. We complain about crisis situations. We don't realize it has a purpose. It has a reason. When we are able to see things in the right perspective, automatically you grow, you evolve. Don't complain. You don't criticize. You don't condemn. But you're happy about whatever is there is fine. When you have, that's what he's saying. When a sportsman have a strong opposition, he grows. He is not complaining. Why a sportsman? Why that opposition is there? Uh, Djokovic is winning. What I said yesterday. Amazing. Australian Open is going on. Amazing. Right? He pulled off a nail biting finish. So he has a powerful opposition. He enjoys the game. If imagine we have to play with him, he'll say, "Keep the cup, leave me alone. I don't want the cup. I don't want anything." When there's a strong opposition, a person who knows the game enjoys the game. Similarly, in life, when there is problem, that's the time you can apply yourself. Okay, this time I failed. Next time. Always we need to take life as a sport. So that attitude in life. So change is constant. When there's a change, there can be things which is not according to what we believe, what we expect it to be. How do we conduct ourselves? Understand things which can be changed, change it. But there are a lot of things we cannot keep changing according to your mindset. I want everything to be according to my setup. It doesn't work like that. Adapt to changes and face it. That helps us to grow, become a better human being. And then he says, this is a very interesting or important paragraph. A great evolutionist, Dr. David Starr Jordan, says, in our discussion of social evolution, we must remember that the very perfection of society must always appear as imperfection. For a highly developed society is dynamic. A static society is in a condition of arrested development. The most highly developed organism shows the greatest imperfections. In our discussions of social evolution, we must remember that the very perfection of a society must always appear as imperfection. You should always achieve to aim for perfection. You saw the weighing scale, right? Weighing balance. I don't know how it works in other countries. In India, we have people down the road, in streets selling vegetables and all that, and they have this small iron weighing scale, right? What is the precision of that scale? It is particular percentage, 70-80%. You put one onion, it doesn't matter one or two onion here or there, it's the same. You don't even see the difference, right? Go to a, a Walmart or any mall. You buy stuff, right? Digital. It's more precise, 90%, 95%. But the readings are, it's accuracy. Go to a physics lab. They have metal, they weigh, the weighing scale. You see that? They also have accuracy. They also weigh maybe 95, 97, 98%. Go to the chemical lab, chemistry lab. They also have weighing scale. They're weighing in grams. And I don't know if you have seen, if you remember, they close the doors. The doors are closed so that even the wind, the air can disturb the weighing, the balance. That amount of precision is there. That's what is meant by perfection. Never get complacent about I'm okay. World has to be corrected. I have done. I am okay. I am the best. That's what he means by, in the discussion of social evolution, we must remember that the perfection of society must always appear as a perfection. Even the perfect society should appear as imperfection. Unless and until you see imperfection, there is no correction. So, moment you start seeing small imperfection, you start keep on correcting, you keep on making it better and better and better and better until you reach perfection as a human being. That should be the way to go about it. So, change is constant. Get the thought flow here. We're talking nature of the world is change. Change is the only constant. World is constantly changing. Every aspect of life, world is in the flux of a change. We need to adapt to changes. Accept, understand, adapt to changes. Then we said things will not be according to what we want all the time. What can be changed, change it. What cannot be changed, go along with it. Then we said we need to perfect ourselves. So here he's saying, does the government stabilize with healthy collision? Thus, to make good use of apparent antagonism of nature to rise to greater height of perfection, you need to keep perfecting yourself. So keep on changing your perspective in life. Keep on changing, improving, correcting your understanding of things, our own personality, every aspect of our personality. It can be physical, emotional, intellectual. So one thing is external changes, one thing is internal changes. External changes are not in our hand. Internal changes we need to change for good. Whatever we can do, we should keep on achieving to become better and better. You can't find peace and harmony just by purifying your inner personality. When you purify your mind, you find the world purified. This is the law. The world is but a reflection of your mind. If your mind is good, the world is good. If your mind is bad, the world is bad. Therefore, change the pattern of thought and feeling in your mind, and the entire world changes. So, we need to have that understanding. It's a very beautiful quotation. I don't have it with me. When it comes to others, we don't want to accept them, accept changes, accept mistakes in them. When it comes to ourselves, we are very, very cooperative. We can make mistakes. We can do anything what we want to do. We need not follow what we believe in. All that is okay when we are doing it. When it comes to others making mistakes, we are very critical. We keep on pointing fingers. How can you do this? And the saying says that it should be the other way. When it comes to others, we should be adaptive. Let them be. Leave them alone. And when it comes to ourselves, we should be more critical about. We're not talking about being fussy about it, but being critical. Yes, I could have handled it better. I can do it better. I know myself, and this can be done better. This can be worked out. So that attitude in life, there is nothing wrong with the world. World is a beautiful place to be in. When we are not able to understand the world, we try to see fault outside, external. There's nothing wrong. And that's what he's saying. When you change your mindset, everything outside is fine. We keep on pointing. It's like the glasses example we use, right? You see a mark on the mirror. You keep on complaining. Your housekeeping staff, you call, they keep clean it. They go. Still the mark is there. What do? You call the senior officers and they come, they clean the glass and go. Still there, mark is still there. And suddenly you realize, oh, it's in my glasses. You remove it, clean it. It's not there. So what you see there outside, it is inside. So it is important that we correct ourselves. Our obligation is on our personality, how we conduct ourselves, what is the state of our mind, what is the state of our intellect. That is our responsibility. And keep progressing, have an understanding, and we don't have to be critical and we don't have to condemn ourselves, but we have to be careful and vigilant and conscious of our actions. So we keep on progressing. That's the nature of the world and adapting to nature of the world. Now, the topic is course of life, where he says it's the same thought process is moving. Evolution is marked by constant striving and struggling in life. Where there is no effort and exertion, there is degradation and death. So, the same idea is taken forward. So, life keeps moving. So, we need to constantly evolve with, with the world, right? And when we are not able to adapt to it, then we complain, criticize, and the rest. So, one thing is very important, which is the next topic, and it is continuing from here, which is we need to have an understanding. Why do we try to correct the world? If you think about it, is because we believe the world will give me joy, happiness, content. In the earlier session, we have covered that aspect and said that it's not possible. The world can never cater to you. The world can never give you joy, happiness. And we gave the example of object and being. If you remember, the object being the same, the cigarette being the same, gives joy to one, sorrow to another. Same thing happens. The lady being the same. One person wants to divorce the same lady, to get rid of the same lady. All that he's doing, contacting his people to get rid of the person, and the other person is doing the same thing just to stay in, get married to the same lady. So, same person is giving agony to one and happiness to another. So, it's possible because it is not in the world how we relate to the world. So, he's saying true happiness is not external. And what we go for, it seems like that's where it comes. This is from the one of the it's a scripture. Text is directly taken from the scripture, where he talks about this concept of the true happiness is like poison in the beginning, but nectar in the end. Whereas the false happiness is like nectar in the beginning, but poison in the end. So what seems to be so pleasant, getting up in the morning, exercising, doing whatever has to be done for fitness, for study, it's is detestable. It's not pleasant in the beginning, but we don't realize it helps you lifetime. And versus if you talk about yeah, sleeping late, winters, it's something pleasant, but it in the beginning, but it's poison in the end. It doesn't help. Give me a minute. I just need a charger. So you believe happiness reside in the world at large. You look for it everywhere. Extroverted pursuit have never succeeded in finding happiness. For happiness lies within your own personality. You must therefore direct your effort towards your own self to find it. There is no other way. You know, this concept of finding happiness within oneself, there's a saying, I think it will be coming in some place, a very beautiful saying. It's difficult to find happiness within oneself, but it is impossible to find it anywhere else. It is difficult to find happiness within oneself, but it is impossible to find it anywhere else. I don't remember the author. The point is, how do you go about it? What does it mean by go internal, go within? Where will you go? You dive inside the mouth, or what do you do? What is the practical way of understanding this concept? And it's there in the scripture. It's not somebody creating it. It is there. What they're saying is that reality is if you have to probe what is the problem in the today's world, if you see all the scientists are trying to figure out things, right? They are trying to work out, they are trying to find the origin of the world, they're trying to find God, they're trying to find life, right? Origin of life, consciousness. Where are they going wrong is their all the exploration is external, whereas the subject Vedanta is talking about, it's not outside, it is within you. Now, that's the journey. The point is, how do we even move towards it? What do we even do? How do we even make it practical? It doesn't sound very reasonable. Okay, there's no happiness in the world, I get it. But where do I look for? What they're trying to say, if we analyze it and try to understand it, they're saying it is not external, meaning don't go physically to gain happiness, contentment. Okay, fine. What do we do? Go subtler in your personality. By now, we have heard about the physical body, the mind, and the intellect. Right? Let's say there's a chocolate. Somebody gives you the best version of the chocolate and the Belgian chocolate. And you like the taste, you love it, you consume it, you have it yourself, you enjoy it, right? Physical enjoyment. Imagine you know that your cousin, your niece, nephew, your son, your daughter, she will love it. She loves that taste. You have one chocolate, you have it, you don't even tell her. She won't even know. Second way of functioning is you give it to her. You are not consuming it. Physically, you didn't have it. But by her enjoying, relishing that chocolate, you get a satisfaction and happiness, isn't it? Can you quantify that happiness? No, it's subtle. It is at a subtler level of your personality. It is different from the physical satisfaction you would have got in actually consuming it yourself, versus at the emotional level, you feel deep, you feel good. She's putting it everywhere on her face and such a cute filly, she's enjoying it, and you're happy about it. Imagine at the intellectual level, this is at the physical, at the emotional, at the intellectual. You are trying to understand a concept. It can be a mathematical equation, it can be any idea, a concept. And you are trying to put your effort consciously thinking about it and working on it. It's not clicking. You know, there's something more to it, but it's not coming together. Someday, penny drops. The Englishman says penny drops. Suddenly you get it. The sort of joy you experience, can you even quantify it? Can you even compare it with any other joy? No, it's subtler. It's deeper in your personality. That is what we are talking about, going within your personality. When you're not focused on what am I getting physically for myself, that is core selfish and self centered. But you are genuinely trying to do help for the society, for others. You get a joy. Deeper is you are manipulating, you are planning, you are figuring it out. You are doing so much intellectually, putting so much effort in helping. That the output of it is much subtler joy. Of course, they are talking about a spiritual level, much deeper at the core of your personality. But this is the direction we are talking about. It's important. How do you even practically figure it out? What do you do with it? This is what they are trying to say. So it is important that we don't merely go by an immediate joy, instant pleasure. That's what he meant by is true happiness is like a poison. So the instant joy is false happiness. It just seems to be happiness. This nectar in the beginning is very tasty in the beginning. Eating junk food is very tasteful. You want to have it, but it's not good for in the long term. Living a lazy life versus living a disciplined life. You do what you want to do, achieving it. That gives you, it is not easy to achieve anything when you have to do it consistently. That's where intellect comes in. Remember, you find it difficult to keep consistency because it is the mind which has no direction, no dimension. It cannot stay constant. It cannot be with one task all the time. It wants a change. It wants to do something different. It is the intellect. When you're convinced with something, you put all the effort towards achieving it. So thereafter, you keep on working on it. That requires your intellectual application. So it is the mind which loses focus. It is the intellect which keeps a consistency going in life. So anything which is consistent and for good, it will give result in long term, but in the immediate, it is like a poison in the beginning. It is not pleasant. It is not something which you like to do. So keep to it, believe in it, and eventually it is beneficial. It is like nectar in the end. We'll conclude with this.